Yo, 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 yo. Welcome, don't give it up, Nova. Welcome,
Shut
don't
up
give it up,
right
Hovin.
now!
Welcome, don't give it up, Castor. Welcome, dear roll,
Okay, you got 3
dear roll
seconds
to
before I'm
Twitch.
dropping
His
out
name
of
is
this.
Barnaby. He's like a scientist, and
3,
his Milo
2,
horny and
1,
pissed. Greil is doing
and...
that baker thing. Jonah's cooking, magic stammering. Set sail for Stammer Stream. So how do you like it,
The
guys?
Digi-Evolution is up and running. Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know it was coming? A Digi-Destiny starts today. Let me hear you say, Digimon!
So, how did you like it, guys? Now that I've created I'm a Milo girl in a Milo world, I'm trying to branch out into different genres.
And jump up superstar, but I'll be your Milo girl.
Oh yeah. I still haven't finished that yet, but I will, certainly. So, how are you guys doing?
Not bad.
Did he stop murdering anime?
Hmm?
Okay,
Yeah,
you did
we
stop
stopped
murdering
murdering anime so that One Punch Man or Space Dandy or whatever could save it. Because that's the meme. That's the joke, is that Moe killed anime and then the cool action shows saved it.
Okay. Cool.
It's One Piece!
Okay, just jump straight from awkwardness into One Piece chapter 894, 1205. So, how did you guys like this chapter?
3 out of 5.
Oh.
2.5 out of 5. Just this whole fight between Luffy and Katakuri has been going on for so long. I've been really dulled to it. As well as this chase. Like, it doesn't really feel like it's advancing at any point.
I actually like it a lot. I always wanted to see some insights into Haki training, and it was good to see Rayleigh again, honestly. Although, I am quite worried about Luffy. Guys, I think he may have an eating disorder. This is the second time this arc he has refused food. This is weird for Luffy.
I mean, it could be character growth, but no, it couldn't be. It's Luffy we're talking. But yeah, that hockey training was a good part, but other than that, I just feel this part of the arc's running its wheels, not really going anywhere.
It's just jumping into the conclusions, so I think...
Yeah, but it's taken way too long. I've had chapters like this for a while now, and I think this is just starting to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for me.
This chapter isn't quite that for me, because the thing is, the whole arc has kind of been everything going wrong, not going wrong, but going on at once, and it is nice to have kind of the passage of time going as a motif as it goes between each of the different segments of the island and what's going on, and then cuts back to the fight. So I like the flow of this chapter a lot. It just didn't really advance much, and I guess there is that whole element of the longer a fight drags on and the more hits they sustain, the kind of the closer it feels. And also with the whole Gear 4 Snake Man, which none of us have read the scans to check. I do like this running trend that seems to be here, where it's like Gear 4 isn't like a static thing. It's a thing that Luffy can adapt to different situations, because he had Tank Man and Bounce Man as the other versions of it.
Although I do kind of miss the systematic nature of the previous gears, since ever since the time skip, it seemed to be like okay, so the Red Hawk, surely that's a new complete power up, and some flame techniques are going to be utilized with all the techniques up to this point. But no, it's just for one attack. Then we have Gear 4, which is split up into a few different categories, I guess.
I mean, Jethawk was like, the Red Hawk was more a technique of Year Second rather than a new form.
Yeah, I just remember that when it appeared, fans just were sure that surely it must be another gear.
I was thinking
Yeah,
maybe we'd see like a Red Hawk Gatling or like a Red Hawk Stamp or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I think we did see a Red Hawk Stamp, but it wasn't on fire, which was weird.
I don't
Yeah,
recall
and
that.
I do think this might be a bit too fast to introduce another form. Like, the Tank Man was a bit pushing it, but I could accept it if it was more for comedic effect.
It was very situational.
And it was Pantaman, which is great payoff for a running gag.
Yeah, I think I don't know. For me, it was like I'm kind of with Greil on this. This feels very fillerish, but at the same time, I do like the way the chapter is put together.
Yeah, like,
And also as a more minor thing, I do just find this wasn't established in this chapter. This is an older thing, but I do really like how Chopper and Carrot have just kind of taken each other under one another's wing as like brother and sister. That is really cute.
yeah, like, I would say if this chapter came like 5 chapters before this point, I probably would like it a lot more. But at this point, the art fatigue is starting to hit real hard because it just feels so similar to the last several chapters.
I
Like,
like
I'm pretty
long
sure
arcs,
if you
so
shuffle,
I don't mind.
Aside the whole final Gear Fourth, if you shuffle this with the last 5 chapters, I probably wouldn't be able to tell that it's out of place.
So, onto another thing. I wanted to ask you guys something about the way Sanji acts around Pudding, because he's been acting a bit platonic, which I think may be building up for something. The past few chapters, he had no problem being all lovey-dovey around Nami, which Pudding also didn't protest. And then, back in the day, we had that one panel of Pudding reacting to Sanji saving Nami during the wedding. So, this could mean a few things. So, do you think Sanji is indeed committed, or and him still fawning over other women is just wacky hijinks, or will Sanji kind of reject Pudding in the end, or vice versa? What do you think?
I could see some kind of big rejection scene. That could definitely be where it's going, but it's hard. It is hard to tell.
I just
Yeah,
hope
it's hard to tell, but like you could read it in any way. Like it could be he's just more committed to getting this job done, or could just be that he's not gonna forgive Pudding after the whole debacle earlier. Or I honestly have no opinion where it's gonna head.
Yeah, I just hope that Pudding in the end doesn't become a Nami x Sanji shipper, because that's heresy.
You mean the closest thing to the canon ship?
No! Oh god.
Now I have this image of you taking some Space Marine armor and going out to kill anyone making anything other than Nassau ships. Just yelling, heretic!
No, as I established in... This is spoiling a joke for the upcoming One Piece Movie 6 commentary, but as I established, my OTP is Nami x me. God.
Obviously.
So, I guess I would say lock your door because Wensleydale's coming.
I said this while he was in the room. He had every
he wasn't
chance
wearing
to
his
kill
Space
me.
Marine armor at the time.
He had every chance to kill me. He could have poisoned my curry. Okay. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about One Piece this week.
Alright then, so shall we move on to Food Wars?
Sure.
Okay, so that's Food Wars Shokugeki no Soma, chapter 250. So, I do actually like this chapter because Tsukasa is a very entertaining and interesting personality. those few panels of his backstory with him stealing someone else's paint back in primary school, I guess, spoke more than Soma and Momo's entire backstories put together, at least for me. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I think this was a really good one and shows just how selfish and in his own world Tsukasa is.
Yeah.
Like, we've already seen the things like him wanting Soma just for the sake of his own cooking, but that just stealing off paint from another little kid and
Also,
just thinking, wait, what's wrong with that? It makes my painting better.
Also, it's a kind of taunting that I haven't seen, where it's not even really intended as taunting. It's just like when he comes over to Isshiki and is like, "Hey, once I've won, just assuming that he's won, do you want to be my right hand man? Do you want to work under me? You'll be really really useful." So he's kind of both praising him and like dismissing him at the same time, and he doesn't think he's doing either. He's just like being very matter of fact about it.
Yeah, he's just a very selfish genius character who doesn't think of anyone's benefit but his own. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even like a malicious sense. He just feels like he lives in a world where everyone else is. I guess I could put it like he's a main character in a fantasy RPG, and everyone else is just NPCs. He just uses because they're just kind of there for me, aren't they?
He's the Griffith of Food Wars.
Yeah, and it kind of
Griffith still had more maliciousness. It's like Tsukasa doesn't even realize what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah, he's kind of the perfect character for the theme of individualism versus teamwork. This Shokugeki seems to have. This series of Shokugeki.
Which is why I think it would be really great if the final Shokugeki was a double match between Rindo, him, and Eren Soma, where they both sides have to prepare one dish between them.
Yeah, but
no, I have to ask.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, you could get so inventive with how like the clashes of flavors look in like the foodgasm metaphor though, like with if it's like a 2-on-2, like
Yeah, that would. I'm not sure it could happen within the rules, but it still sounds like a really awesome concept. I'd like to see that. Also, why did Ishiki take off his clothes? It wasn't even just a fantasy. We see in the end that he's for reals in his loincloth, and his clothes are folded next to him.
Maybe he secretly has some Nakiri blood in him. He has some of that DNA.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Did Tsukasa just strip him, or did he take off his clothes himself to prove a point?
I'm not sure which option is worse.
Oh god. I can now see Tsukasa being like, yeah, of course I'm gonna strip him. I need more clothes. It's a bit chilly in here. Why are you staring at me? Why is it so judgmental? My hero?
Yeah, sure.
My hero,
yes.
Alright, so that's My Hero Academia chapter 170. And I thought it was a good chapter. We've been setting up a few plot points for the next arc. I'm glad Jiro's chapter wasn't just an intermission between bigger arcs and is actually going to be interwoven into a larger narrative. And I like this new dynamic duo of villains introduced in the chapter. They seem like a wacky bunch.
As soon as they appeared, I'm like, yep, they're going on a whole bunch of people's cosplay plans lists.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we have a better representation of a little person than Mineta.
Yeah, that's true. Love Lover is above Mineta, but then again, who isn't above Mineta in terms of representation? Even like Stain or, All for One. Those guys even are above because at least they have some like reason for their actions.
Well,
like Stain is ideological.
I would say maybe Lemillion isn't above Minator, but because this chapter he says he'll have a date with Eri.
Stranger danger.
Ew.
Like I like how Deku's just like, please, just stop. No.
Yeah, you know, I just like to think that Mirio is so innocent, he doesn't even know about dating. Like, if I would ask Mirio, where do you think babies come from? Well, my dad said that the stork brought me, and yeah, okay, we now get you.
Oh, he's such a precious little boy.
Also, I do like that they address Aries like, yeah, she was safe, but this girl's got like months, if not years, of both psychological and mental abuse, so she's not gonna be fixed in just that short a time.
Yeah, although I find it funny that Chisaki in that one panel, where he's still exuding control over Eri, looks kind of more buff and menacing than he did in his own arc.
That could just be the way she sees him in her head.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's still adorable when Eri tries to smile despite not being able to.
Yeah.
But, you know, in a way that doesn't still distract from the weight of this scene, so really well done stuff.
Yeah.
Though, one negative about this chapter that, while Gentle and Love Lover are kind of fun characters, it still feels like they might take focus off the arc, and I kind of hope this would just be a slice of life arc to cool down with no villains at all. I mean, he doesn't feel like he's any kind of real threatening villain, so it's not that bad.
I do wonder, like, how they're going to be involved, if they're just going to interrupt the festival and, like, be something that people need to take out, or if they're going to set up a larger arc or something.
I mean, this is shonen manga, and they are introducing a villain just before a major event. Chances of it not being interrupted are astronomical.
I mean, I know they're going to interrupt it. I'm just wondering if it's going to be they're beaten within the festival, or they arrive at the festival and they cause some upstart, but it doesn't get resolved and carries on into something else.
I'm
also,
just
question right here.
I'm just looking at the panel where he tries to pour tea into his cup dramatically.
On a skyscraper.
Yeah. Also, so call it now. How are Gentle and Jiro related? Because this being a Jiro-focused arc, and them just showing this guy while also having him teased into the YouTube video at the end of the last chapter, there's no way they're not related at all.
Have they shown her dad before?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, they have. Okay.
So maybe his uncle was my first guess.
I think he's the designer of the Deep Dope T-shirt, which he wears all the time.
So maybe she's the former bassist of Deep Dope. But yeah, I recall her father being blonde, so let me actually look up that chapter.
Okay, you mean in the chapter when All Might did all the parents' meetings, right?
Yeah, and now that I look at him, Jiro's dad and Gentle do look a little alike.
Oh, fair. I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, but just like with this setup, I just feel there's no way there isn't any relation. Though, look at his age. Like, he looks pretty old. Could also be his granddad.
No.
Okay, maybe that's pushing it a little, but
too young.
I'll just put the pages on Discord so you can compare the looks. Could well be family relation here.
Okay.
Come on. First one's Jiro's dad. And second one's Gentle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Just their hairs do have some natural curl to them, and the shape of their eyes is also pretty.
Yeah, she could have inherited the dark hair from her.
Yeah, as well as her quirk, because we do see that she also has those earbuds.
Hmm. I mean,
Well, ear jacks.
yeah, I mean, if he if he happened to grow a mustache, then I guess he would be, uh, then I guess it could be his secret identity. But
Yeah, I doubt it's him, but I do think it's somehow related to Jiro.
Okay.
But yeah,
as
really
I
good
said,
chapter in my opinion. Hero Academia is always at its best where I feel when it's doing these lighthearted slice of life things.
Shall we move on to Black Clover, though?
Ah,
I
yeah.
mean, if we gotta.
The new king of shonen.
Oh dear, I do not like this chapter. So, one thing I like, though, is seeing Julia's grimoire be the cylinder of pages in the sky above the Clover Kingdom's capital. It was kind of cool. The Wizard King so far has been very meh to me, but this was a clever little writer's trick to make him seem like the powerful, big good he's supposed to be. But then we have a series of monologues that kind of escapes me, since even when he tries to put it as a metaphor that supposedly defines him as a person, it's kind of weird. So bear with me just for a few minutes. So he says he doesn't know whether his grimoire having no binding is good or bad, and that's it's unique. This makes him question who he was and who he should be. Then he remembers everything he has achieved thus far and comes to the conclusion that this is what makes him what he is. And then he says it's why he is the Wizard King. So, am I the only one seeing that this is like just four things that aren't related to each other at all? What is the thought process behind this?
I didn't even think that because I really don't put any thought into reading Black Clover anymore. It is shown that it usually doesn't deserve it.
It's just a very underwhelming conclusion to come to. The path I've walked is me. I am the Wizard King. That is all I am defined by. But,
oh my god, these are such empty platitudes. There is no cause and effect to this.
So I do like the second in command of the Wizard King thinks, I can't do anything in this fight. It's out of my level. So I'll just call someone else who can and not just sit by and be an idiot.
Well, he did. He did.
Yeah, that's why I said I liked it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so many times they just don't do anything. Where here he thinks, okay, let's just call everyone we have and not risk it on a one-on-one fight.
Yeah, that's good. Although I kind of so I've talked about the leaps of logic in this chapter, but then we have Licht proclaiming that he is apparently against reason and logic. So, are you sure you want your main antagonist to be against those things? Because they don't seem to be your forte as a writer. Are you sure that you want them to be the themes of this battle? And what kind of motivation is this for a villain, being against reason and logic?
Yeah, I'm not really sure where he pulled that from.
He said even if it means violating the laws of nature. Hey. Oh yeah, no. I missed the earlier monologue, yeah. What natural laws exactly?
I'm not sure. I think he's set up as this kind of like Magneto-like figure, who just
like if it wanted to be like, oh, it's a dark inverse of the hero's ideals. That'll be fine, but that doesn't feel like what he's going for. This doesn't feel like.
We never actually seen properly why his home was attacked and his people killed. I mean, with mutants, it's all that fear and hate, and the whole they could destroy us if they wanted to, because there's a guy above us raining asteroids at us whenever he's pissed. But Licht we always see small glimpses, so it's hard to feel sympathetic or anything. We don't know anything about the event.
Yeah. And this kind of. I don't see why Licht is proud of stupidity. Because this is kind of what it is. I liked it more.
Also, wasn't there that whole raid on the Eye of the Midnight Sun base going on?
Yeah, well, we had this for a few
Wait, hold
chapters.
on. But wait, no, Yami was there, and now Yami's back. So does that mean the raid just finished?
Yami wasn't at the raid.
I swear he was.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. Oh, okay.
Wasn't he? Okay. So, that's Black Clover. That's Black Clover this week. I'm pretty sure I like this conflict more when it was just pretty simple. Like Black Clover usually can be, and probably it's when it's at its best. When it was just, we have a war between those two countries, and it can't be helped. But when you put those supposed big ideals into the conflict between the Wizard King and Licht, this kind of falls apart.
Hmm.
So,
anyway,
Promised Neverland.
Shall we move on to Promised Neverland?
Yeah. Promised Neverland.
This was a big deal chapter. Norman is back.
Yeah, and all our theories about this guy being a clone of Norman or Norman modified or something are thrown out the window.
Well, I contest that in only that we don't know if this is it's not confirmed if this is happening at the same time or not as what's going on in where Emma is.
I think we may in the next few chapters we may have a message. We may find out about the purposes of the experimental livestock of horrors that we get introduced into this chapter, and we will find out how Norman planned to send a message to Emma via Thomas. Was that his name?
Adam.
Okay.
Also, I'm not sure if we learned this, but small tidbit: everyone besides Lucas, Emma, and Adam are from Grand Valley Farm. Not sure if that's gonna play a part later. Like, would they still go back to, what was it, Grace Field House, or would they try to go for Grand Valley if more people know that?
Remind me, does Grand Valley have the passage to the human world?
I think each of them do.
All of the great big farms had one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back and check this just to be sure.
Yeah. Still, I recall that the next goal for them may be the Seven Walls. So, yeah, curious to see how that comes out. But yeah, this was this chapter I was very excited about since we've been waiting for Norman to appear since ever. I always say that the Promised Neverland benefits from more viewpoints. And yeah, I like that. I also like that. Yes, Norman is a genius, but he is also just a little kid who needs to play with his friends, and yeah, wants to go back to them.
Also, it does mention Grand Valley by name as having one of those entrances.
Okay, gotcha.
Human world. Yeah. Grace Field, Glory Bell, Grand Valley, and Goodwill Ridge.
Okay.
And I do gotta say, they got a very tight security zone. Not sure how Norman could escape or even try to send messages out.
I guess that's probably they are sending for some reason they may be sending out the special livestock, though I'm not sure what for. Maybe for although I guess that could break the promise, but I guess maybe Peter Rattray guessed that if you simplify the human brain, then it doesn't count as hunting humans per se. I don't know.
Also, one thing that we note here, Peter Rotary says that his age is close enough to normal that he wouldn't be his father, so William Minerva biologically would still not be that old probably either if they're brothers. So he is probably still alive.
Yeah,
I mean, they say, I may be dead, but they also say, we didn't find the corpse, which is shorthand for, he's still alive.
yeah, we have seen glimpses of William Minerva, and he didn't seem to be older than Billy Bob, so... Yes, so I guess it could be possible. All right. Anything else to mention though?
It's a shame that they didn't use the time between when Norman was gone and was introduced in the story to better develop the rest of the kids from Gracefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, this chapter, it was mostly exposition, but also did raise some interesting questions. For example, how exactly did Adam break out if he knows Norman's number? I mean, with his mental capacity, I don't think he could have escaped on his own, so did Norman let him out? Or did they let him out on purpose to to be like an inside man?
Well, I've just said that it may be possible that the special livestock may be supposed to be let out. Maybe to be hunted by demons, because maybe if you had humans with with little to no mental capacity, maybe it wouldn't count as breaking the promise.
But they've also said that humans with low capacity are not as delicious. They're like how would I say, supermarket meat in plastic packings.
Oh, okay. What's that? Oh. Huh. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. This is the theme of this podcast.
Shall we go from the Promised Neverland to We Never Land?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Let's move on to Bathhouse Hijinks, chapter 50. And boy, this is such a harem manga chapter.
Barnaby told me he would be interested to hear my opinion because this also leans into silly harem antics, and he quite enjoyed it. I have to say I quite enjoyed it as well. This was a really, really dumb chapter, but I got a few chuckles out of it.
Yeah, I laughed twice, but for me it was just dumb, not the endearing kind of dumb. Because it's that, like, required by the law of harem anime bathhouse chapter where one person is in the wrong sex baths.
Well, this time we
well,
have...
the thing is, I don't know.
This time we have a few people in the wrong bath, and I would admit that I kind of like this chapter as opposed to other harem mangas. Since for a Hot Springs episode, it's not as horny as it could have been. Even when they have an accidental mixed bath, they are still able to interact as regular friends, which is kind of refreshing. And they quickly come to the conclusion that, okay, no one is really to blame here.
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't know that the girls are, but...
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, they don't know that the girls aren't.
I feel like I'd be mad at this chapter if it was just a case of Yuiga accidentally gets stuck in the girl's bath. They don't know for most of the chapter, and then they find out and he gets hit on the head or something. But it's a bit more mixed up than that. I think having it be that he's actually in the right bath and they're all in the wrong one, that's not something I've seen before. Yeah, so that kind of mixes it up a bit.
Yeah. And I do
I
find
also just love the tiny little panel of just the guy like doop-de-doop-de-doop. Whoops, I swapped the signs wrong. Good thing I noticed. I could have got into real trouble there.
and I do find funny how the girls just stop to listen to which of them Yuiga would like the most.
Yeah, for me the funnier part was when Fumino just throws the bucket over her head at them in anger, and is even seen raging in the next panel underwater.
And they're just holding her down.
Yeah, but
Well, in any case, this
I
chapter
think
was hot garbage.
Gah.
also it's kind of funny when all the guys are yelling out how amazing it is they're getting able to peek, and then there's someone already waiting on the other side like, you were yelling at full volume. Why the hell do you think we wouldn't notice that?
Alright then. So, shall we wrap things up with Dr. Stone?
Dr. Stone. This was easily my favorite chapter of the week. It was a really nice wrap up to the arc, and like I thought the whole like passing the torch thing was a little rushed to the end in the last chapter. So I'm glad that we have this one to expand on it a bit more.
Yeah. Also, I do think that the one panel where Kohan was like, all of us are Senku's relatives, and like Senku going, we're not actually. Byakuya wasn't my blood-related father. It's just there so
You can
Senko
ship me with
shippers.
anyone.
Well, yeah, you could only ship him with anyone since everyone else is still related. And how wouldn't Kohaku know that? Since they have only 40 people in the village. And this village has lasted over 3,000 years. How wouldn't she know that?
They do just kind of hand wave away the incest thing. It's like, oh, whatever. It's been thousands of years, so obviously we wouldn't have birth defects anymore.
Obviously. Well, apart from that, this chapter's great. I love the theme of legacy in shonen manga, and Byakuya establishing the 100 legends that gave character goals to Ruri and Chrome, and possibly many more characters.
That's what I love about it. It's like he's set up, hey, let's have these little scientific sort of these little clues and have them be like the manga of they're like the you know the fairy stories in the manga of the village going forward. And so Senku coming up and just realizing all this stuff from the villagers' point of view, it's almost like all of their manga heroes just came to life, and that's a really cool angle, I think.
Yeah, it's also nice to get a reason as to why they were in that format, because, well, yeah, if it was just in like schoolbook form, do you think those kids would remember them past the year past their age of 20?
Okay, so, but is the implication that all the adults from the astronaut expedition just died of pneumonia, and the kids just have been raised on their own?
I mean, we never see Senku's dad die of pneumonia, so maybe he survived long enough that some of them started getting at least to young adult age.
Okay. Fair. Right. And yeah, well, about the stories, I do like how they become the intrinsic motivation for why certain characters become the way they are, like Chrome. Like Chrome's favorite stories were perhaps the one about different kind of ores, and that's why he got interested into science.
Sorcery.
Yeah, into sorcery. So which is these stories are kind of the perfect metaphor for this manga, which may be teaching young kids about science as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned quite a bit, and I can remember it with the story context.
Yeah.
Unlike my school chemistry books, which have just been completely wiped from my memory.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, the connection between Senku and Byakuya is pretty heartwarming. I mean, he did keep his promise about the scientific souvenirs, and we actually see Senku let down his defenses while he's alone, granted.
Yeah, it's rarely that he does that, but every time he does, it hits you, man. Yeah. And yay, we're coming back to see Tsukasa in the brand new manga, Stonewall's Shokugeki no Senku.
Yeah, Senku's gonna beat them by making his ramen in food battles because
I bet the next chapter is gonna have Taiju and Yuzuriha in it, and it's gonna be really jarring to see them back again.
This is really exciting. Like, we don't know how far Tsukasa's come in that time because, how long has it been? It said in the one chapter where Senku fought how long it's been since before he set his foot in the village. Let's see.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing Taiju and Yuzuriha nonetheless. Although they may be not as interesting as the villagers, they were kind of the main characters from the get-go, and they are kind of like Norman in that case. I miss them so much from when they were here before, that I'm really looking forward to seeing them now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, here it says it's been 5 months since his arrival that the village game started, so be quite a while in story.
Okay. Well then, any predictions for how the war with Tsukasa is going to transpire now?
Honestly, with the writing style of this story, I have no clue how it will go down.
Yeah. It is very unpredictable. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the show and looking forward to what it will do next. So
I'm kind of most interested in here about Asagiri Gen's role because, well, he's still kind of the free agent who just goes with whoever's gonna win.
Yeah. Although now he seems to be set. Now he seems to be set with Senku, but are we going to have another betrayal? Or...
I don't know. His face there is hard to read because he's like sweating and kind of looks worried, but he's also kind of smiling. So I'm not sure what he's whether he's happy they're coming or worried.
And yeah, there's 2 points. Like, so far he's on their side because they're winning, I would say. But let's say they are losing and Gen hasn't revealed his own allegiance. Wouldn't he just say, I was on your side the whole time. Yeah, just kill him. I'm gonna keep living.
I'm gonna guess that Gen would do what one of my LARPing friends would do. Just hide in the bushes until the whole fight is over, and then just say, "Yay, we won! Go team!"
Yeah, or if he still goes out around, he'll just go, "Great job, everyone! That was a real great revolution. Go us! You can't have a revolution without someone to revolt against. Pat on the back. Pat on the back? Yeah, you did real good, and it's a draw."
Yeah.
Please tell me you guys saw Thor Ragnarok.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, you got it then.
It was very good, yeah. So, that is gonna do it for this week.
So one question there is, like, is Tsukasa just a conqueror now, since he's still... I mean, he could think that Senku might be alive, but he doesn't have any solid proof that he is.
Maybe Senku is going to try a surprise attack, and maybe we'll see. Well, he knows that there is a village though, so we'll just have to wait and see what Tsukasa, what plans Tsukasa has.
Is coming,
so maybe he will still come to see what the whole village is about, if they want to join him, if they want to fight him. And remember, the village still has people over the age of 30. So that might be a bit of a problem for the romantic yay go young people Tsukasa.
Yeah, though I do wonder, is he gonna be as easy on killing people who aren't stone? So they're gonna actually like scream and be in shock, while the stone statues are just, well, statues, even if they were people once. Also, one thing that just came into my mind, we might finally find out what the task for Yuzuriha that Senku gave before they separated was.
Oh yeah, I hope it wasn't to what's what? I hope it wasn't to seduce Tsukasa. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think Senku would really make that his plan.
Yeah, I hope not. Okay, yeah, I guess they just are supposed to be. They may just try to be close allies, pretend to be close allies to Tsukasa, but yeah, wondering.
All right.
Yeah, and that is gonna do it for this week of Stammer Stream. Thank you for watching, either on my YouTube channel or live at twitch.tv/Wensleydale Cheddar. We usually try to record on Saturdays at 10 AM Eastern Standard Time, 3 PM GMT, 4 PM GMT+1, and 5 PM GMT+2. Although every few weeks we may move to some other day of the week when to let Greil in on the action I would usually say, but Greil is here now, so I won't say that.
Yeah, my new RPG group plays 2 hours later than my old one.
Okay then. So I guess you could make it usually though. Alright, you can follow me on Twitter at @WinsleyCheddar for updates on the stream, on Pinganta, World Triggered, friendly faces everywhere, #Race Pokemon Journey featuring our very own Dr. Nova, and many other projects. Follow Milo at HovinwithanH for anime waifus and Trial by Guilty Crown, a series of anime commentaries he does with Castor. You can find it on YouTube in the description below. Or during the annotations that are supposed to play in a minute, I think. And follow Greil at Nuclear Android for the Danganronpa podcast he, Nova, and Hovin do every once in a while.
Yeah, we should probably get another one of those recorded at some point.
Yeah, it's just so I can yell about how fucking stupid the Danganronpa 3 anime is. I mean, seriously, what the fuck did you even think about it? Sorry, got a little...
Fuck the consequences and, you know, having to deal with them. Just brainwash everything. Anyway.
Maybe I should watch that someday.
It doesn't really work without the context of the first and second game, or the first anime in the second game.
Well, I'd say even the second game just...
Alright then.
Yeah.
I guess I have to see your Let's Play sometime.
Okay.
So, a sincere thank you to our recent subs on YouTube. It's thanks to you that we may one day catch up to our eternal rivals, the Manga Mavericks. Do please check out the show. It's on YouTube in actually short consumable chunks. And send our message to them in the comments. Guys, what should our message be this week?
Drink your Ovaltine.
Okay. Milo, have you got anything?
Where there are boobs, there are no noobs.
Okay, and for me, it will be, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, alright then, once again, cheers for watching, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Bye!
I'm a Milo girl in a Milo world. Life is glasses, tits and asses.